silent nights, gestating rights make me hide away. Forgotten dreams, or so it seems, they're in my way. To love we toast, my long lost host. Can't you see that it's too late? In the need is what I've seen. That's why I hate. Climb down now on my back. Don't make me choose your lose. No, it's a fact, 'cause I'm a go-go. Oh, hello. How you doing? Good to see you there. We're filming another episode of Nevada County Media's The Musician. And I've got a great musician with us today. He's actually, this is his second show that he's done with us because of COVID over the past year. Unlike most of the other musicians that I know, he decided while he was not being able to go out and play, where we would see each other all the time, that he would actually write some new songs and go into the studio and do an album. So for that reason, I've begged him to come back and sit with us and chat about, his adventures over this past year. Because, of course, we all have stories, and we need for you to hear them, and we need to tell them because, boy, it's been hard over the past year not to be able to get out there and play with you. So I'm going to introduce you to Jonny Mac. Welcome back.
Good to see you, Gary.
Yeah, it was good to see you too. And this has been a long time.
It has been a long time.
I know. I think the last time I saw you was like March of last year.
Probably in a much different casual musician setting. One or the other of us playing or waiting to play or something like that.
I know. I remember the show at the Poorhouse was the last time I saw you, and it was it was great because of course we all played outside, and it was but right after that then all of our friends started coming down with the COVID, and it was like, okay, no more playing outside or playing anywhere. So what did you decide to do? Well, I know that you decided to start writing songs and do this album. But what prompted you to do it besides the fact that you were shut up?
Well, you mentioned adventure of the past year, and that's a bit of a stretch. It's actually having some time on my hands, and the moment kind of begs for some reflection, and I wasn't finding any wisdom reflecting other than just sort of being a witness to what was happening to myself, my family, friends, the entire world. Seemed like obviously an extraordinary event. I have a 12-year-old son, and I'm telling him about like how this doesn't happen very often, and you'll remember this kind of thing for the rest of your life. And eventually just having more free time and needing to do something, needing to not feel helpless, just having the blues or whatever. Songwriting is a way to sort of pull myself out of that. Sometimes it's a way to put myself into that. But so anyway, it's what I do, hell or high water. And so I started writing songs, and it's like wrote one, wrote another. And it's like, oh, wow, I have a whole batch of songs that are they're telling me what they're about. I'm not telling them what they're about, and I feel like the songs are talking to each other. And then after a while, I just felt like I had enough material, so I started doing some demos and kind of playing around with arrangements, and feeling pretty good about it in general, but not like this is like an extraordinary group of songs or anything. Like it's just sort of like they just exist, and they wouldn't have existed but for this moment. And I thought it'd be cool to try to just preserve that moment, like in my songwriting life. To these are and that's something. Yeah, and it's not really a literal thing, it's a personal thing. I feel like it'll be something that I'll look back on and say, that was, I'm doing it for myself. I feel like, in a lot of ways, just to have a connection to the world, even if it's somewhat of an abstraction or it's like calling out into the
Absolutely.
the world.
I understand it fully. I mean, I personally went the other way. I just got depressed and, wound up like, I could say at least 2-3 months I didn't even pick up a guitar and play. I was just like, what's going to happen here? But, mind you, I'm a lot older and not as sort of, as I interested in like, okay, my personal thing, because I always feel that I may have, you look at it, it's like in 25 years, I'm going to be like almost 90. So, I'm like, so where do I go here where a complete year is just taken out of my life, It just gives you those sort of really depressive thoughts. So, I went through that. And I'm thinking now, what I should have done is I should have put it to music. And, because, hey, look, Black Sabbath got really famous by doing really depressing songs. So why can't I?
I think with everything going on and all the noise out there, that if you can find a way to be present, the music will find you. You write, you have plenty of material, as I do.
The show has done it for me. It's brought me back, a lot. And it's so glad because now I get to call all you guys up and start talking to you again about music, about what our futures could be, So give us a song that we're going to, let's hear one of your new songs that,
all right.
that you're put on this album. Tell us about it.
Okay. I'll play a song called Lights Out in Bummertown. It is born out of the pandemic, but it's not about the pandemic or anything like that. I'm not sure exactly what it's about, but the rough idea is that be it a pandemic or be it a suffocating situation or relationship or whatever, if the lights are out, your future is ahead of you, and head towards the lights, because that's where you need to be, and you need to chuck all that darkness. But whether or not that actually comes through the song, I don't know. But it's that's what it was inspired by. Clueless and covered in white noise, they say that it's just the way it is, oblivious to forces of change. Scared strange, if it's all the same, I will change directions. Widen my skies, think about things otherwise, take another view, still turning and burning as these things will do. Rise before the sky falls through. Realize brightness becomes you. Lights out in Bummertown. Lights out in Bummertown. Hey, sad face, out of place and nobody's fool. Those who assume the truth have too many rules. Take in what you can gather, travel with only what you need to, like nothing else matters. And you push through and you do it anyway, even if long in your day, whatever day the shift, your life, your lift. Rise before the sky falls through. Realize brightness becomes you. Lights out in Bummertown. Lights out in Bummertown. From the rear view to new sights where they are found. The lights are out in Bummertown. Before the sky falls through, realize brightness becomes you. Clueless and covered in white noise, they may say that it's just the way it is. You you are. Better off the faster you are past it. Lights out in Bummer Town. Lights out in Bummer Town. From the rear view to new sites where they are found. The lights are out in Bummer Town.
Nice.
Thank you.
Wait.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
You know, one of the things I was thinking about when I was playing that was not having the opportunity to play anywhere also means not having the opportunity to sing anywhere. People in the house get pretty annoyed when you start like, ah, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, in a lot of ways, the studio has been good to kind of add shape to these songs, to just sort of have like an environment where, okay, maybe I should go up here, maybe I should extend this part, maybe I should do that, because there's, you know, you get alone in your thoughts, and it's like, well,
Oh, yeah.
you know, that's
Well,
been
that's
much
awesome.
different. It's been much
yes.
different about the creative process.
Yeah, I'm impressed. It's a lot different from a lot of your other stuff that I've, you know,
Yeah.
that I heard. It seems like it seemed like there was a structure running right through the song.
Well, I'm glad you heard that, because there were a couple of points where I do play that song in a lot of different ways, and on the record, it's much more of a rock song.
Okay.
Like the whole record is. I think people are going to laugh, you know, when they hear it. You know, it's noisy.
Oh,
It's,
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's. You know,
But I mean, that's always the greatest thing, is when you can do a really rocky song, and then you can get on the acoustic guitar and you can actually present it and put it across.
Yeah.
In the way that you just did, because that's, you know, that's what we're supposed to be able to do.
Yeah.
You know, that's being the musician's musician. And I do really think of you as a musician's musician.
Oh, thank you.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I mean, now you're gonna finish this album up. What? How long do you think you've got?
Well, that's if you would have asked me when I started this maybe 3 weeks ago, I thought I'd be close to done now. But as you know from recording, and you know, it's just you get in and you start. There's a day given to drums, 2 days. Next thing you know, it's like whoa. So the challenge really is so the material's done, and then you think, okay, there's the album. And then you demo it, and then you think, okay, now there's the album. All we need to do is just basically assemble it. And then you start putting the different sonic pieces together, and it's like, oh, no, this album is like something. It's not completely different, but it's still kind of growing. So I look at it like it's still like, you know, I would say 50% done, but a lot of the structure is there. But it just sort of needs to be completed vocals, and
So if you put
there's
3
a lot
weeks
of
into
there's
it,
a lot
so
of
you got another
questions.
3 to 4 weeks, or 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is I'm getting a second vac shot. You know, my producer partner Ryan Clark is getting his like a different week, and he has a family life. You know, it's like I have a family life, so it's like just trying to sort of arrange all of that, as well as other, you know, commitments, musical commitments. It just feels like there's, through the whole pandemic, feels like it's been a lot of hurry up and wait, you know, for kind of everything. So my sense of time is pretty fast and loose. So I'd say, you know, I'd like to be done in June, early June, but then it has to be mixed and mastered and, you know, kind of sent off. So when, you know, I was originally thinking July for like a release show of some kind, you know, and assembling a band.
Good, so then maybe we can have you back for a quick little
that'd be great. Yeah.
A release.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Yeah. So play us some more.
Okay.
Because I know that these people out here want to hear more of this.
All right. Well, I play a song called Corruption. You know, had a lot of time to sort of watch TV and, you know, yell at the TV and things like that. So that's kind of where this song comes out of. And I'll just kind of let it speak for itself. It was all the news was competing for everything but a clue. Propaganda repeating like a low tidal wave come to crush your soul. Blind faith, apathy, caught up in the steamroll. Big lies for dumb guys, open your eyes. Read the writing on the wall before it grab you by the balls. Corruption, tinted windows, heavy smoke, independent signal, going broke. Everything is fine, no need for alarm, says the con man with his hands in your pockets and the goon squad twisting your arm. Therein lies an exploitative production, sanitized and otherwise enterprise and corruption. Saw a rugged individualist lost without his remote controls, strung out in all directions and dug in like a troll. Empty calories, these sad imitators. Never saw so many malcontents as when I turned the vents back on the haters. Hypnotized, Lord of the Flies, unwitting, unwise corruption. Yeah, supersized, weaponized corruption. Call it what it is, yes, that's what you do by any true deduction. When it all boils down to corruption. 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 Corruption.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Now that's like more back to the Jonny Mac that I know from.
All right.
Yep. From the past there, but yeah, still that just great lyrics, man. It's just like it's that. I mean, how do you put those together like that? I mean, you just think about it and just sit down and write it, or do you write it to the music that you're playing? And the biggest question, how do you remember them all?
Yeah, well, I don't. I don't. I don't. In fact, I often rewrite them. So I'd say the sort of that particular song, the lyrics would come from a concept, and then just I didn't want it to be a literal, that guy corruption, or like this is corrupt and this isn't corrupt, and I didn't want to be like take a platitude about it. I want the word to be in the conversation, and I want people to talk about it and to think about it, and so the rest of the words are evocative. A lot of them mean things to me. Supersized, weaponized. You know what I mean? I don't know what image that puts in your head. That puts a pretty clear image in my head of where I see corruption not in just a simple act, but in a deep thing. It's hard to fix. It's a real problem, and it's hard to fix, and you can't get anywhere if you don't have you
don't recognize it.
Yeah,
obviously you're seeing it. So.
Yeah, so that's really it's kind of like, I guess everything is kind of steered towards. You probably realize, sort of like we have like this third dimensional life, social media life, or whatever. But you and I will get together and talk in person, and we're both like so talkative, we'll say. Whereas so it's much different. So part of that to me is like when I go out and sing a song like that. I hope it reaches people who are also like, hey, I get it. It's not, you're not being
one of those
lectured.
Songs that make you think and make you talk about what you're hearing.
Yeah, I hope so. It's not intended to be a lecture or like I'm better. I've got the same problem. I examine my own life, and I was reading this thing about plastic bags not recycling for 500 years or something, and it's like, I gotta stop. I gotta figure this out. And you go to the supermarket, a grocery store and there's like plastic sealants on everything, and it's like, well, I just got to be more
and
conscious or ethical or something.
And I posted this thing about these nets that are at the, at all the outlets, the water outlets that we have, and they catch all the plastic, this and that. And then somebody says, what are those nets made out of? And so I looked it up, and they're made of plastic.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so you got plastic catching plastic now, but, at least it's keeping them out of the ocean.
Right.
I mean, it's like, crazy things. But anyway, give us more music, because, man, I'm so impressed, and I'm so enjoying this.
All right. Well, we were talking about something, I think it was before the cameras went on, but it was about where you just sort of kind of sitting with your thoughts, and, a lot of people go down, different alleys. And I felt like for my journey through the COVID, the pandemic, has been like just this kind of ups and downs. Like at first it's like, oh no, like what, how bad is this going to be, kind of thing.
Right.
And and then after a while it's like, okay, this is really different. Maybe it's a blessing, and it is in some ways.
Right.
And then you go a little bit further, and like all of a sudden my son's not in school anymore,
Right.
even though they
Right.
call it school, and it's like everything's just sort of going a little bit sideways and upside down. So after a while, it just sort of becomes like it can overtake you, your thoughts, your mental process. So this is a song called Just Because, and it's about sometimes you got to do things that maybe aren't the best and maybe aren't the most healthy things, but you're going to do them because it's going to just help you in that moment. And why? Just because. So that's the way it goes. I'm not the type of guy to... Actually, you talked about lyrics and like remember them. That's not the lyric. The lyric is, I'm not the kind of optimist to wish upon a star. I took the blindfold off, see things as they are. The glass half full, half empty bottle on the bar. Times of trying, I'm not lying, tying on a buzz. Thusly explain, just because. Times are hard, future forward, tough call. I've been dealt a wild card, been backed against the wall. Let the dice roll, let the chips fall. Yes, fall where they may, getting exasperated dismay counteracts any wisdom in a way it just does. Hello, stress, don't you knock on my mess and lay me low. For real, I've got a case of the feels. I've unsealed another deal and I'm going down slow. Well, to your health, mind and body strong, and unto action, may better traction soon come along. A toast to the most you can do with the song, getting through it in the meantime. No fuss, no muss, and getting loose in these lean times. Just because. Just because just because.
Woo. All right.
Thank you.
There we go. Bluesy there.
Yeah.
So, so you know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to getting out there and playing again.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when I'm going to be starting because, being fully vaccinated now, I feel
Right.
safe enough to go in. But then again, still not safe enough to go in yet. I still have an 80-year-old home, so
Right.
you always got to be really, really careful. But I'm looking forward to it. Now I started going around to see what what we can do here, and actually on Saturday I went to see Karen.
Yeah.
Play. She's done the show here with us before, and so I'm starting to see what's out there. So what's in that future for you?
That's my next gig, actually, I believe. Yeah, with Karen. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Miners Foundry, probably.
Oh,
I think
okay.
probably. It's outside.
Yeah.
So,
and this
it's
is
kind
what-
of in that parking lot area.
Yeah, and this is like in the near future. This is going to
In
be
June.
In June. Okay.
Yeah, so I've kind of decided that I'll probably do that one in June, and then in July,
Yeah.
kind of be open to the idea. It's been weird because right before the pandemic started, I was putting a band together. It's kind of a long story, but the gist of it is, we were kind of like putting together these songs. It's kind of groovy, like B-sides, deep cuts, kind of rock and roll songs, covers mainly, and just kind of go out and have some fun and kind of get down and, just play some groovy music. And it was coming together to the point where it was like, okay, let's start booking shows. Pandemic hit, so there's been like no shows. So that's been kind of like at different points of the pandemic, because there's been like last June, it's like, oh, maybe we're coming out of this, right?
Right.
In fact, for the first several months, I felt like, well, we're 2 or 3 weeks away from like figuring this out, right? And it just, and at some point, 6 months, 7 months in, it was like, I'm out. I'm going to start playing again in July, and hopefully, towards the latter part of the year, we'll be able to see each other, in our little community, and just kind of like, go to each other's shows and
Well,
whatnot.
of course, you're going to be out playing, more for when the album's finished, and you're
yeah,
going to be
right,
out there
yeah.
pushing. So, are you going to do that with a band, or are you going to do that?
Yeah, I hope to. I'm going to, try to put a band together for a release kind of show, and then probably just do solo beyond that. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but it's
Now, do you find that very hard,
hard to
putting a band together?
yeah.
Is that probably the hardest part of, and especially when you're doing your songs?
Yeah, that's the hardest
Yes,
part.
that's,
Is to ask of somebody to learn them,
Right.
and to kind of retain them. There's enough nuance. I try to write them so there's not too much nuance, but they're still interesting. And musicians like to be engaged but not pushed.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
exactly.
it's like you gotta.
Yes.
It's kind of a fine line, but yeah. I mean, the main thing is just being able to afford, hiring people to
Yeah.
join this. So, the reality is kind of lean on the community and vice versa. And, most of us are willing to help each other out, so it's
Yeah.
like, that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And, hopefully I can make it worthwhile for everybody and interesting, but I'm not looking to kind of perpetually put people in that situation. It's a special thing to me. So
Right.
I'll kind of, that's kind of my,
Yeah, the days of putting
approach.
together heartbreakers are pretty difficult to do,
yeah.
now
I
can't,
mean, just
you know,
having a,
that somebody gets like so into your music and so into your thing that they're going to be your permanent bass player or your permanent, I've been through that, it's very difficult, because being a songwriter, if you're going out there, we can always find musicians to go out there and jam with and play cover tunes,
Right,
and,
yeah.
and do that stuff. But when it really comes down to seriously like, hey, I need you to play this,
Yeah.
I've always found that really difficult. That's why I prefer mostly to play by myself.
yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, trying to put it across too.
Yeah.
That's going to be kind of the funny thing about this album, because it's definitely a rock and roll album. It's a big sort of like sounding album.
Well, I'm here
know.
and I can do it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I'll
good.
concentrate on just your songs
Yeah.
if you need me to.
Yeah,
So
but-
give us some more.
But the
Yeah.
other thing is that it's, it's not like a 20, 30 songs. There are that many songs on this group of songs, but the album itself is just going to be kind of normal length, 45 minutes or something, 40 minutes. So it's not like a odyssey of
Well, like I said, and anybody else that I know, when you get closer to getting it finished and you need these instruments to play, let us know and we'll see what we can put together.
That sounds cool.
More than willing to help out.
Yeah.
There, because I really, really like your stuff.
Thank you. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jonny Mac. I think that's it for us this month. And I'm hoping you guys will all tune in next month because we'll have another special guest. And please watch out for Jonny Mac's new album. Do you have a name for it?
I don't know.
Okay, but just watch out for Jonny Mac because all of us musicians are coming at you soon. All right, so we'll see you all soon. Let's just play a little.
Thanks, Gary.
Hey, let's just play a little blues,
Yeah.
So, guys, we'll see you next month, all right? Oh, yeah. I said bye-bye, 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 bye-bye.
Ooh, take me with you when you go.
All right, let's get something different here, all right? Thank you so much, Jonny.
Thanks, Gary.
I think start playing again. Start from the beginning. Okay.
By the end of this, we will be your zombies. Just tell us where to go. Yeah, test. Hello, 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 hello.
How's our conversation? Okay, good. I'm talking to musicians. Woo!
Musicians talking to musicians.
Musicians.
About musicians.
Yes.
Even cracked a fingernail.
Oh, what's that? I was about to play this. Yeah. Money for nothing. Chicks for free. Yeah. Got a blister on your thumb.